Now let us understand osmosis once again in terms of concentration of a solution. That is, we will use the terms hypotonic and hypertonic to redefine osmosis. So here you can see that A is a hypotonic solution which is connected with a solution in beaker B which is hypertonic, and in between A and B we have a passage which has semi-permeable membrane in between. So now when the two systems are connected, that is solution A and B are connected, water will move from beaker A to beaker B because A has more water concentration than B. So as a result, after some time, the level of water in the beaker B will rise up, indicating that there has been a net movement of water from beaker A to B. That automatically means that the level of water in beaker A will go down. The volume of water in beaker A will become less and volume of beaker B will become more. Now this movement of water across the semi-permeable membrane from A to B has taken place by the process of osmosis. Now the movement of water particles from A to B will continue till the time the concentration of solution in the beaker B becomes the same. To understand this in simple terms, if I taste the water in beaker A, it will be tasting less sweet as compared to the beaker B, because if you remember, we have added 2 spoons of sugar in beaker A and 4 spoons of sugar in beaker B. But when osmosis occurs and the concentration of solution in beaker B will become same as that of A, the sweetness of water in both the beakers will become same, indicating that osmosis has allowed water to move from A to B to equalize the concentration of the solutions in both the regions. So we can redefine osmosis as movement of water from a hypotonic solution to hypertonic solution through a semi-permeable membrane. Now let us discuss what will happen to a cell when it is placed in different types of solutions. In the first case, let us see what will happen if it is put in a hypotonic solution. Now here in the figure you can see that we have put a cell in a hypotonic solution. The dark blue color of the solution indicates more water concentration and the light blue color indicates less of water concentration. Now when we put the cell in such a solution, the cell will start gaining water by osmosis, because the rule of osmosis says the water will move from a higher water concentration, which is the hypotonic solution, to the cytoplasm of the cell. So here the cell will swell in case of a hypotonic solution. If this continues, if the cell keeps on remaining in a hypotonic solution and it does not have a cell wall, that means it is an animal cell, the cell membrane will rupture and the cell might die. But some cells, as you know, that they have a cell wall, like a plant cell, bacteria, fungi, they all have cell wall. They show more tolerance to highly hypotonic solutions because the cell wall does not allow the easy bursting of the cell membrane. So such cells which have cell wall, they show more toughness when they are subjected to a hypotonic solution. Now let us see what happens to a cell in a hypertonic solution. Here in the figure I have shown a cell which is placed in a hypertonic solution. The dark blue color in the cell indicates that it has more water concentration than the solution, which has less water concentration, indicated by the light blue color of the solution. Now when such thing happens, the cell loses water into the solution and the cell will shrink. The arrows that I have shown in the figure indicate that the water is moving outside the cell into the solution. As a result of this, the cell shrinks. Now what will happen if I place a plant cell in a hypertonic solution? The plant cell will experience a process called plasmolysis, and such a cell is called a plasmolyzed cell. Now let us see this with a figure. Now here a plant cell which has been put in a hypertonic solution has lost a considerable amount of water, and the components such as the cell membrane and the cytoplasm, they start shrinking towards the center of the cell. The cell wall remains intact. Since cell wall is a rigid structure, it cannot change its shape and position, whereas plasma membrane and the cytoplasm, they are flexible enough to change their shape and position. So when they lose water, the cell membrane and the cytoplasm, they move towards the center, leaving the cell wall at its place. Now what will happen after some time? Now this is the cell which has undergone plasmolysis after it has been put in a hypertonic solution. The cell wall which is at its place, whereas the plasma membrane and the cytoplasm have gone towards the center of the cell, leaving a gap. You can see this gap between the plasma membrane and the cell wall. Now such a cell is called a plasmolyzed cell. Now this phenomena will not happen in an animal cell, because in an animal cell we do not have a cell wall. Now when an animal cell is put in a hypertonic solution, it will simply shrink along with the cell membrane, and the process is called crenation and not plasmolysis. When a plant cell is placed in a hypertonic solution, it is called plasmolysis because of the shrinking of the contents away from the cell wall by creating a gap between the cell wall and the plasma membrane. Whereas if the same process of losing water happens in an animal cell, when it is placed in a hypertonic solution, it is called crenation. Crenation. Since crenation is not discussed in the NCERT book of class 9, I have also not discussed it in my video. But for you to know, I have just mentioned it in a point. What happens to a cell in an isotonic solution? When a cell is placed in an isotonic solution, that there is no gain or loss of water from the cell, because the concentration of the water is same inside and outside the cell. So the cell neither swells nor shrinks, and the shape of the cell remains intact. Here in the figure you can see that the cell is placed in an isotonic solution. So there is no net movement of water across the cell.